Reality is distorted. You buy a new car, and suddenly it's everywhere. You notice a friend's cracked phone screen, and it seems like every second person you see has the same problem. It's as if the world has changed overnight. But has it really? You've probably experienced this before. You start to notice a particular brand of shoes, a certain type of car, or a specific fashion trend, and it feels like they're suddenly ubiquitous. But the truth is, the world didn't change, your filter did. This is just a normal day, but with a subtle twist that reveals a fundamental aspect of how your brain works. Your brain is not a truth machine. It's a survival machine that constantly edits reality to save effort and protect your existing beliefs. This is the thread that ties everything together. The fact that your brain is always trying to conserve energy and reinforce what you already think you know. You're not aware of it, but your brain is constantly making shortcuts and edits to reality, shaping your perception of the world in ways that feel intuitive, but are actually biased. Once you see these edits, you can't unsee them. And that's what we're going to explore. Let's start with the frequency illusion. You've probably experienced this before. You buy a new car, and suddenly you see the same model everywhere. You start to notice it on the road, in parking lots, and even in movies. It feels like the world has suddenly been flooded with this particular car. But in reality, the frequency of the car hasn't changed. Your sensitivity to it has. Two systems combine to create this illusion: selective attention, which flags the car every time it appears, and confirmation bias, which makes each new sighting feel like proof of a real spike. This is not just a quirk of perception. It's a fundamental aspect of how your brain processes information. Researchers have found that this phenomenon is a combination of selective attention and confirmation bias, which makes us more likely to notice and remember things that fit our existing expectations. But that is only half of it. The frequency illusion is just one example of a broader phenomenon: confirmation bias. You think a certain phone brand is unreliable, so every time you hear about one breaking, you go see, told you, while ignoring the hundreds that work fine. This is not just a matter of cherry-picking evidence. It's a deep-seated cognitive bias that affects how you perceive the world. Once you hold a belief, your brain preferentially searches for, notices, and remembers information that confirms it, while unconsciously filtering out or downplaying anything that contradicts it. This makes existing beliefs feel more supported by the evidence than they actually are. Studies have shown that this effect is one of the most reliable biases in cognitive psychology, and it affects everything from memory recall to information search and interpretation of ambiguous evidence. But how does this play out in everyday life? Let's take the example of anchoring bias. A jacket is marked down from 200 pounds to 80 pounds, and it suddenly feels like a steal, even if 80 pounds was always a reasonable price for that jacket. The first number you're shown becomes a mental reference point, and every judgment after that gets pulled toward it, even when the number is arbitrary or irrelevant. Your brain adjusts from that anchor rather than evaluating the new number fresh. This is not just a matter of pricing psychology. It's a fundamental aspect of how your brain makes judgments. Researchers have demonstrated this effect in numerous experiments, including one where spinning a rigged wheel to land on a high or low number measurably shifted people's estimate of an unrelated quantity. But what about how we remember experiences? The peak-end rule is a phenomenon that affects how we recall events, from holidays to painful medical procedures. A holiday with one amazing sunset and one terrible argument, followed by a nice final morning, gets remembered as great, even if most of the actual days were mediocre. Your memory doesn't average every moment of an experience. It's disproportionately shaped by the most intense point and however it ended, largely ignoring duration and the boring middle stretches. This is not just a quirk of memory. It's a fundamental aspect of how your brain processes experiences. Researchers have demonstrated this effect in numerous studies, including one where people rated a painful procedure as less unpleasant overall when a mild extra period was added at the end, even though this meant more total pain. So what does this mean about trusting your own mind? The truth is, your brain is constantly editing reality to save effort and protect your existing beliefs. This means that your perceptions, memories, and judgments are always subject to biases and distortions. But once you're aware of these edits, you can start to see the world in a new light. You can begin to question your own assumptions and biases and seek out diverse perspectives and evidence. This is not about becoming a skeptical cynic. It's about becoming a more nuanced, and accurate thinker. And if you want to dive deeper into the world of psychology and gain a better understanding of your own mind, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.